Alright, so I've got things pretty much hooked up to try to get this thing, some oil pressure, fuel pressure, all that good stuff. I got the batteries in. Everything's kind of rough right now. I don't have the CAC tubes on. I got the crossover hooked up. Everything's hooked up right now. I'm going to be doing some cranking. Try to get the oil pressure up a little bit, and then I'm going to hook up the fuel pump. And I think, actually, so this is kind of annoying. So the fuse box area, there's been some rats or something in the truck, unfortunately, and one of these wires was chewed through, so I put it on temporarily. That's the only one that I saw that was chewed through. Everything else looks okay. I did plug the fuel pump fuse thing into an empty spot. I don't know if it works, so once I crank for a while and get some oil pressure going, I'm going to turn the ignition on and see what happens. And I have a OBD2 Bluetooth adapter for this tablet here, which I've been charging for a while. I haven't used this thing in ages. Anyways, so I'll have this thing hooked up and hopefully we can get the truck started without the charge pipes. We'll see. I got a multimeter hooked up, 12.62 on the batteries. That's good. So I'm going to go ahead and do a few cycles to try to get oil pressure, hopefully. So we'll see. I'm going to use the starter connector here, which you disconnect there, and do some cranking. Let the batteries rest a little bit, 12.4, not too bad. And I do have this charger. Oh, that's still plugged in. That's great. So I'll unplug that. These things are dusty. So I'll hook these guys up. That way I can try to keep things charged up a little bit. There we go. So that way it'll keep my batteries charged up. So now I'm just going to go ahead and crank for a while. So I definitely started slowing down on that last run. I'm going to let the batteries charge for a while. I'm going to do a couple more cycles, and then we'll go from there. Once I do a couple more cycles, I'll hook the fuel pump up, and then we'll go inside and see if I can get some fuel pressure going at some point. Alright, I've done a few runs cranking. The charge pipes aren't clamped down, but they're somewhat seated. So far, cranking, there hasn't been any oil leaks or anything, so we're going to go inside the truck and turn the ignition on and see if the fuel pump makes any noise. Alright, so I got the fuel system pretty much hooked up. Everything's kind of rough hooked up in the engine bay. I just want to see if it'll get oil pressure and whatnot. So injector clatter sounds good. Fuel pump works, 67 psi. Icy conditions. Not too bad. Real-time info. Oh, this thing's cold. Picking power is okay. Everything looks okay, so let's see if it'll crank over. Well, it did start. That's good. Good. Good news. Very good news. Very smoky in here now, though. Ignore the mess. Go ahead and open that door up. Very smoky. She started up, so that's a good sign. Very good sign. Well, guys, I am so excited. I am beyond excited that the truck started just fine. Seems to be running just fine. I got a couple little rips in, but the road's a little bit icy, so I couldn't get any grip. I haven't gotten my tunes revised yet either. It's still running on my original, I believe it's on Warren Street tune. When I had stock injectors, stock turbo, stock everything except for the exhaust, pretty much. There's still tons and tons of little things I need to do, but I am so excited because don't mind the mess. I can't wait to get this mess cleaned up, but oh boy, the truck is out of the garage. Finally, I can start working on all the small things. I got to get some gauges hooked up. I got that 4-gauge pillar I need to get all hooked up. New boost gauge, exhaust gas temperature. This mess. There's tools everywhere. Just coolant sitting on the floor. Trash everywhere. But I am so excited. So, my old intake just wasn't really working anymore. The wiring harness, because of the ODOG S3R intake, is a little high, so it doesn't really fit. It was a cheap eBay intake anyways. So I'm going to be buying a no limit intake. It looks like it has a really long silicone tube that hooks to the turbo before the intake. I think it looks like it's like 8 inches or something. So hopefully that will take care of my wiring harness in the way issue. Very excited for that. It also has the crankcase vent deleted already. So that's going to be nice. Aside from that, I got to clean the crap out of the truck. It is filthy. I got to finish up the fuel system. The hoses for the air dog are they're pretty ghetto right now. So I'm going to fix that. I'm going to get the right fittings. I'm going to be working on all that. There's going to be plenty of videos for all that. But I'm probably going to call Warren tomorrow, if not the next day, hopefully, to try to get my tunes revised. I gotta hook my SCT up and get the serial number and all that good stuff so that they can revise my tunes for me. The turbo takes forever to spool without the tunes being revised. If the camera's shaky, I'm sorry. I'm not sure what the EGTs are, but they might be a little bit up there because it's got 190/30 injectors. So aside from that, everything looked great. As far as Torque Pro, my deltas were right up there, about 2-3 degrees apart. The coolant system, I think I saw about 5-6 degrees, or not degrees, PSI, so that's good. But man, I am excited to get the inside of the truck all cleaned up, get all the small things done. Smooth sailing from here. I got tons and tons of plans I want to do on the truck. But the number one focus, I got work tomorrow and all week, unfortunately. But next weekend, definitely, there's going to be a lot of work being done. So a lot of videos going to be coming out. And this mess I need to clean up. It is terrible. I got some residual fuel on the ground, rags everywhere, just dirt I need to sweep. I'm going to probably do a little bit tonight. I'm not sure. We'll see how the wife feels about me being out here still, but parts everywhere. I got to put the grill back on. I got to get things all organized under the hood. So stay tuned for more videos because I am excited. Oh boy, I'm so happy to get my truck back after 6 months. It's been sitting in the garage for 6 months in between debts. I'd leave for a month, I'd come back for 2 weeks, leave for another month, so, oh boy, super excited.